Nemesis, we've been going on like this a while, and I wondered if you'd be up to take a break. Over at the springs.
Come to think, could really use a bath. You, I mean. But I could too, I guess, so why not? Not too hot, not too cold.
How long has it been since you last took off the armor?
A while. Not been much incentive. You saw how much of a pain it is to undo the lacing and the straps. Feels strange without. Like I don't know.
Unburdened? Or more comfortable, at least?
Good letting off some steam sometimes, I guess. But there's a fine line between rest and complacency.
I don't know that we're at risk of becoming complacent here, Nem.
The risk is greater than you think. We're lounging in a bath while who knows what is going on out there.
We're not lounging. We'll be better equipped to deal with the who knows what out there if our muscles aren't all knotted up.
Like you know. All right, gotta get back to work. Though, this suit does feel a little lighter now.
Take care, Nem. Say, Dora, would you mind accompanying me over to the baths? I'd hate to think they aren't haunted.
Do I want to float aimlessly in some near boiling water? Do I ever? What are we waiting for? Wonder if I was ever shy about this kind of stuff.
You still can sense something of the water's warmth, can't you, Dora?
Well, I can see all the steam rising, which I associate with warmth, so I guess it kind of tricks me into thinking warm thoughts.
That doesn't sound so bad. Though you do remember what warmth was like then, from your mortal days?
Not really, no. I guess I've just heard so much about it. It's like I've experienced it myself.
Oh.
Well, that was basically like floating around in your tent, though I appreciate it nonetheless.
Headmistress, I was wondering if you might accompany me to the springs for a short while, if you're not overly preoccupied.
Well, I do believe I could use a bit of a soak. I've more knots in my back than that tree. Let's be quick about it then. These waters always seem to do the trick. But this is all right. Thank you for replenishing these waters. One of those details I had been meaning to get to, but alas.
You're very welcome, Headmistress. I appreciate your saying so, as I half thought you would admonish me for using magic and resources on this sort of thing.
Magic mostly is for self-improvement, Malinois. Not a shortcut, mind you. And if an occasional scalding hot soak in the springs isn't self-improvement, then my concept of it must be very flawed.
I wish I could bring myself to relax. I feel like I'm wasting precious time while I'm here.
Time spent being good to oneself is never wasted, unless you overthink it overmuch. We are here. Seize the moment ere it passes. A shame we cannot cook indefinitely in those springs, but a brief dip is better than none at all.
I was just thinking nothing clears the mind like a refreshing, burning hot soak. Care to accompany me?
Look, I do love a good hot bath, even whilst dead, and I'm not one to say no to goddesses, so... why not? eyes are properly averted, goddess. That I swear.
Would mortals often bathe, Odysseus?
Oh, well, most of them would bathe from time to time, though seldomly together like this. Men with women. It could be untoward.
I see. We gods have no such shame, I realize. Have I made you uncomfortable?
Me? No, goddess, of course not, no. In fact, I've bathed with goddesses before. It's been a little while.
Well, as long as it's agreeable for you.
It is. Agreeable, it is. Well, don't know about you, but I am properly relaxed, I'd say.
Have you experienced our hot springs yet, Lord Moros? The waters cleanse the body and the mind. I'm headed over if you'd care to join me.
Why, I don't see why not. I've seen and heard about such springs as these, though never been. Oof. To think that such a place is hidden here.
So, what did you and the Fates do for recreation where you're from, anyhow?
Have I mentioned they like to weave? Their weaving was their occupation and their passion. I never got too good at it myself, and all they needed was the three of them, so...
I know an excellent spinstress who could maybe help with your technique. What did you do while they were busy spinning away?
Well, I would travel the world to witness mortals in their final moments. Look them square in the face as they perished, often in horror.
You do this for recreation's sake?
The nature of the role leaves little time for recreation, and it's all I could do to make those final moments dignified. Though I don't think the gesture always comes across.
I'm sorry.
I've not felt so refreshed in, well, it's been a while now. Thank you again.
Please don't make me regret this, Eris. But would you like to join me at the hot springs for a bit? Helps ease the tension.
Wait, the springs are purified again? I've been out of the loop. Surprised I get another invite after last time, but okay. Ah, yeah. So this is what you still do to relax? Hot as magma in this thing. Can we get out yet?
Permission denied. You'll quickly grow accustomed to the heat. Just try to concentrate on any tensions that you feel and let the waters take them.
Tensions? Me? Babe, I don't need to boil alive in order to cut loose. Though good to know you found a way to bottle tensions up. What happens if you drink this stuff?
These springs are pure, thanks partly to the salts we use. Though even still, I wouldn't recommend imbibing them. Next thing you know, you might be purified as well.
Oh, I'm not worried about that. This is the way I am, down to my very core. And if you don't like it, and brought me in here hoping a nice hot bath was all it'd take for me to change, well then, I hate to disappoint.
Looks like the waters haven't rid you of your tensions yet. Sometimes a hot spring is just a hot spring, Eris. Not everything is an assault on your ideals.
With all of you, I never can be sure. Though this is nicer than the last time, and the heat isn't so bad right now, I guess.
It's perfect.
Ugh, I think I drank way too much bathwater back there. Is this what being purified feels like? Woo!
See you, Eris. Hey, I've got these bath salts here that are more than enough for me, if you're not busy at the moment.
Mel, you know I like doing nothing. Sitting in the bathhouse with you? Well, that's gotta be the next best thing. So, shall we? Like being cooked in a cauldron, isn't it?
Don't you ever wonder how you used to be, Dora? When you were flesh and blood? I bet you were very beautiful.
What? Seriously? Is it because of my voice or because of my curves? Nah, you're just messing with me.
I am not. It's because of your confidence, I suppose. You're very self-assured. Some shades cower before me, but you and I always got on.
Well, some shades are total buffoons. Anyway, it doesn't really matter to me how I used to be. If I was happy about it, I figure I'd remember.
You think you've deliberately forgotten your past?
Yeah. Why else would I have forgotten everything? Probably took a couple swigs from the River Lethe and that was that. Clean slate.
The River of Forgetfulness. You think you were down in Elysium?
Maybe. Who knows? You know, if I'm not mistaken, I think I had a good time with you back there. Thanks, Mel.
I was thinking of putting these purifying salts to use, Headmistress. Call it a cleansing ritual. Would you accompany me?
A visit to the springs ought to rid us of unwanted thoughts for a while. Let us be cleansed together then. Would that this were all we had to do. We're like two nettles boiling in a cauldron, aren't we?
I remember bathing in this spring when I was very small. You would ask me never to splash your hair, and I would do it anyway. You were so tolerant of me.
Well, now at least you know the reason that your training was so rigorous. There came a point when even my vast tolerance for all your splashing finally wore thin.
Wait, you trained me to the height of my ability as a witch because I got your hair wet?
It was either that or transform you into a newt or something. Come off it, Malinois. You are entirely too serious sometimes.
A lesson I've been unable to take to heart, Headmistress. I suppose it's been a while since we talked like this.
Yes, well, that's growing up for you. And present circumstances haven't helped either. This blasted hot spring got all covered up with moss and had been stagnant, I don't know how long. Being here again, it takes me back.
Do you think we'll be able to keep the moss from reclaiming this place again?
I'll watch the moss, you watch the splashing. Deal?
Deal.
Much better. Sometimes I think that hot spring could raise the dead.
Hey, Nem, are you available to make another visit to the springs? Take a load off, come back to our senses a bit.
Shoulder's been acting up again. Could be it helps with that. Don't like having to take this suit off, but that's the trade. Really shouldn't get too comfortable in here. First time you beat me in a fight, sparring match, whatever, got me right in the back of the neck. Took advantage of our height difference. Was a surprise.
I'd lost to you so often, at some point, I figured I could lull you into overconfidence. That even you could be susceptible to such a thing.
You weren't wrong. Made me so angry. Swore I'd never underestimate my opponent again. Then proceeded to convince myself you'd never beat me at the task. Our task.
So you've a bit of pride. You're not trying to stamp it out completely, right? Just keep it in check. Besides, I'd like to think we're not at odds in what we're trying to achieve.
We're not, but I can only push myself so hard. Seeing you getting stronger, getting closer, gives me the extra push I need.
I'd no idea. I always thought I got my competitive spirit from you. Anyway, do let me know if you need anything else, such as lending a hand putting on that suit of yours.
Or taking it off. Yeah. Though, can't let myself become too used to this.
Maybe just a little used to it then.
Well, enough sitting around. Time for some standing around to balance it out.
Off we go then. Hey, I was thinking I'm due for a good boil in the springs. Join me for a bit?
A visit to the baths with you right now? Ha! Sure, I'm honored to accompany you, Goddess. Almost like I'm alive again. I trust the temperature is to your liking, aye?
You've met many goddesses even in your mortal days, haven't you, Odd?
In this, I'm very fortunate indeed. The Lady Athena often watched over me. I'd never have survived the war if not for her. Then, on my travels home, there was Calypso and Circe, a witch not unlike you.
Circe used to study under Headmistress, always with her crystals. And Calypso, she's a nymph, correct? A lesser goddess, I suppose?
Nothing lesser about her, with respect. These goddesses, the hospitality they showed me, why, it almost made me forget myself. Forget my family.
But you did not forget. You made your journey home. Even I know the tale.
It's a tale, Goddess. Anyway, life takes its complicated turns. Take it from me. That was a splendid and much-needed time. Truly appreciate the invitation.
Lord Moros, would you accompany me to the springs again sometime? And by sometime, I mean, are you busy now?
I feared you'd never ask again, Princess. I've longed for the warmth of the springs since last we visited. Oof. I surely can get used to this.
Your relationship with the Fates sounds like it must have been a complicated one. You've never been on your own, have you?
I haven't. They're my sisters and my elders. I grew up under their watchful eye, and I'm more than their brother. I was their guardian. But I couldn't protect them in the end. Perhaps they always knew I'd fail them, and loved me anyway.
You can't go thinking like that. You had one of the most important responsibilities in the world. The Fates are as all-knowing as they come, aren't they? Then it stands to reason there wasn't anybody better suited for the task than you.
Princess, would you just let me wallow in my misery a bit? Ah, no, wait. Forget it. It's gone. A mighty incantation on your part just now.
Anyway, I know you love your sisters, but the circumstances being what they are, perhaps some distance will be good for you.
Perhaps. These springs are good for me. Of that, I have no doubt.
Nor I.
I think I really needed that. And always wonderful to have your company.